Many thanks for joining us on our podcast today. Of course, we shall be looking at the preview of different football matches played. Of course, we shall be starting with the Manchester derby that ended in a barren draw. Then we shall be looking at the UEFA Champions League results and also the upcoming fixtures in a week's time. I'm CRESENT, and of course, I'm not alone. I'm alongside
Kennedy Utuku, a good Manchester United fan.
Shadrach, Anthony, the Spurs fan.
Okay, wacha nianza na Kennedy. Yes. Manchester United, Manchester City, sare tasa, 0-0. What next for Manchester United?
First, okay, as a fan, it was not the best game to watch. Mm-hmm. It was not as interesting as the derby yenye tunakwanga tukiexpect when here Manchester is meeting Manchester United is meeting Manchester City. Mm-hmm. But as a Manchester United fan, I think it's a positive point, having not lost to Manchester City in this season. Mm-hmm. We beat them at the first leg at Etihad 2-1, and they come to Old Trafford. We were supposed to win. Looking at the chances that Dorgu had, not Dorgu, then there was Garnacho. Good chances that they could have won the game for Manchester United. Remember, this is all. But Manchester United hatujakuwa na form nzuri pale Old Trafford. So, but I think it's a positive. We can take it as a positive step for Manchester United. So I think Ruben Amorim has a good team. He only needs to go into the summer transfer window, which is a good striker, a person who can really finish, and a wing, a good, I think a left wing since I work now forwards. Somebody who can play the position when Amad Diallo is not in place. Because trust me, tungekuwa na Amad Diallo, it should have been a different story. So I think it's a positive step. We have not lost too much games since January. It's a good step.
Anthony, tumezoea tukisikia Manchester derby ni mabao, na sio upande mmoja tu. Labda Manchester City wakishinda utasikia wameshinda, kuna ile record 6-1, kuna 3-2, 3-1. First leg ilisha 2-1 in favor of Manchester United. Hii derby ya sare tasa inaonyesha kwamba Manchester United na Manchester City wote wako kwenye state ya ICU.
As of now, the form of both teams iko they are both one team. They are both big teams. Man City wameshinda kikombe hiyo EPL mara 6 na Pep Guardiola. Manchester tunajua legacy yao. Alafu mkuje sasa mimi kama neutral. This was as the neutral here, the game was boring. Ukiangalia Man City walikuwa wajaribu kucheza vile wanachezanga, ku build up, ku overload the midfield, kujaribu kupitia hapo katikati, wako wanawezana. Na obvious wako na Haaland. Kwa hivyo their main target uko mbele. Hawako nayo, sawa, wako wanaweza cross.
Tuliwapiga 2-1 with that.
Achana hiyo. Ishapita. Tunaongelea 0-0. Nyinyi mkiwa kwenu, the effort mlikuwa mmeweka kwa defense, mid wakajaribu, lakini kuja kwa attacking it was poor from both teams. So in this Manchester derby it was boring now. But we saw a positive. The only positive was Manchester United wameshaanza maybe kupata ground ya kuanza kuenda vizuri. But both teams, Man City tunajua shida yao penye iko sahi. Players wametoka. Pep pia yeye nikaa tactics zimempiga chenga kidogo. Na hii summer, if they want to be able to maintain your legacy ya kushinda kikombe kila saa, they need good recruitment. The same with Manchester. Their finishing was terrible. Garnacho hapo mbele ya Haaland hawako na offer match, so they need to improve that sector. But otherwise, the game was just another game.
So Shadrach, when you mention of Manchester City, of course the name trophy should come, especially in the last 7 years, and this season they have really struggled. People might have been saying, because of Rodri, I don't know what. In your perception, where is the problem in Manchester City? Because they are only remaining in one competition, and that is FA. Of course, they'll be playing Nottingham, which is a hard nut to crack in semi-finals.
Yeah.
Where's the problem at Manchester City? Is it the boss? Is it the players? Is it the management? What is the problem?
I'd say right now mostly it's the players, because when the season started they were in great form, and then Rodri and De Bruyne got injured. The over-reliance on De Bruyne and Rodri was exposed. Now their form dropped. They started losing games, but even during the first period of the season, when they were in great form, they were still conceding goals. But now, they concede goals, but they don't get the chance to get the goals back. So now they lost their form. Now they should improve. Pep should look for new players and stop over relying on the players he uses normally. Because now they don't have a defensive midfielder. Kovacic is not a defensive midfielder now, and De Bruyne is back, but I'd say ameisha. Safi ameisha, aende tu. Hata venye ameamua kwenda sasa ni decision nzuri. Tafuta tu mtu mwingine.
So in your perspective, of course, when talk of Kevin De Bruyne has been the backbone of Manchester City midfielder, and he has dominated when it talked in terms of the assist and wherever he has been outstanding. He is leaving the club. Who should be the better replacement of Kevin De Bruyne in your opinion?
Right now, well, I heard they wanted to sign Florian Wirtz from Leverkusen, but I don't know if it will be possible. But Wirtz would be a great player for that number 10 position, because he's creative, he can dribble, he can hold the ball well, and they need a person like that right now, because their wingers are good. They have Savinho, they have Doku and Foden. They can work with them. Now they have Mamouche, and they still have Haaland, so they can work with them. When you give that creative element in their midfield, it will improve their team a lot.
In case you get a chance to meet Pep Guardiola right now, what can be the message to him?
The message, personally, is I'll first congratulate him. Obviously, he has provided entertainment for us fans since he came 2017, 2016. Yeah, it has been pure entertainment with City. But as of now, he should stop over-relying, as Shadrack has said, over-rely on players like Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, De Bruyne. The old players ndio walikuchezea vizuri kitambo, but as of now, they are out of gas or they are out of form. So you should at least try and build a new team that can be able to play a football.
But remember, they say a talent will win you a game or a match. But when you talk of experience will win you the trophies. And that's why you get the likes of these big teams like maybe Inter Milan. They have got those experienced players, and that's why they are performing outstandingly. So even though he's getting out of form, but sometimes experience plays a big role. And I'll give you an example of somebody like Sergio Busquets at Barcelona. People are like, oh, what's his role? They never knew his experience. So sometimes they never knew his big role he played, the big role he played. Of course, there they were talking of Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, whatever. But Busquets also had a big role to play. So also experience has to be in a collection of the talents. So Manchester United, of course,
before you go away from Manchester City, I just want to add something. Like the way you are asking Shadrack, he mentioned the player that they want to purchase in a replacement of KDB. I am 100% sure nobody is replacing KDB anytime soon. Manchester City hata tukitaka warudi in the form, because Manchester City a true fan of football knows Manchester City brings a lot of entertainment. If they are on their best, Arsenal is on his best, Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, the league is what you want to see. You want them to come back to their levels. We are not replacing. You sell Alvarez, you want to replace Alvarez with Mamouche. No, it's not working. You want to replace KDB with Wirtz. Nah, it's not happening. It's the same like Manchester United. They want to replace Cristiano Ronaldo with Mount. Haifanyiki. So the true thing is that I think Manchester City need a new beginning. I think away from Pep Guardiola, away from KDB, away from who else? The likes of Kovacic, Gundogan. I don't know why Manchester City went back to pick Gundogan from Barcelona. That was an insane move, and I didn't see it coming from Pep Guardiola. I think Manchester City will struggle now and next season too.
So when you talk about the new start and the new beginning, whatever, do you mean he should be selling all the 30-plus aged up players and bring in a new squad?
I think the players I would,
because you have the likes of Bernardo Silva. Their services have been good, but I think at the moment they're just below the average.
Recently,
on the game versus Manchester United, I'm a Manchester United fan. I was just thinking, if Dogwood, that is Manchester City. Nowadays I'm being confused with Manchester United, Dogwood. If Dogwood started, why didn't Dogu start? Ule mzee anaweza sumbua the wings. And our wing, nowadays we're playing a 3-4-3. So huyu Dogu wetu the left back anaenda mbele sana. So with Dogu kusumbua hapo, trust me, Manchester City wangekuwa na more of a better chance kutupiga. But akachoose kuanzisha kina nani? Kovacic. The likes of Foden na hapo chini. Mimi hata uniamini ni Foden is down compared with Dogu. So I think Manchester City, the starter nakwambia ni, I think Kovacic should go. I think wanafaa ku release Pep Guardiola for now. Pep Guardiola is a good
so
coach.
Is it his actually, also I was actually, maybe people they will have this opinion. He has been there, he has actually won all the available trophies at the club level. Club World Cup, the Super Cups, the Premier League, the FA, the Carling. Maybe in your opinion, is it his tactic to leave the club in that he's underperforming so that he can be shown the get up?
No, I don't think it's his tactic. It's just he has lost the grip.
Or have other managers really learned his tactics and whatever?
And I think Pep Guardiola is stubborn. He doesn't want to change. He wants to stick with the same style, stick with the same players. But the other managers have learned, okay, this is how he plays, this is how he's doing, and they are doing better than him. Look at Arsenal. They have overshadowed Man City over the few years. When they met, look at not Manchester United, look at Chelsea before the new coach. They used to beat Manchester City. It was a normal thing. The new coach sijui amevania Chelsea nini, but the former ones walikuwa wanapiga Man City. In fact, I was watching Man City versus Chelsea.
They went in a long December honeymoon. After December,
I think Pep Guardiola has had his time at Manchester City. He is a good coach. That must go to record. He's a perfect man. Those years he has been at Manchester City, I don't know, 7, 10, I don't know how many, but he has been awesome. But for now, they need a new coach with a new style, and to bring that new, the same thing with the I don't want to jump to Real Madrid for now, but also Real Madrid, you see. Yeah. So that's my stand.
Okay, maybe just one reason. Manchester United hasn't won English Premier League for the last decade. Whereas Manchester City have won 7 in 8, right? Manchester United have not won any Champions League in the last 2 decades. Players have come, gone. Managers have come, gone. What is the main problem?
I think the main problem, and as a letter team yangu, Tottenham, the main problem with these two teams comes from the owners. If you look at Manchester United, the hierarchy from Glazers to their recruitment team, when you wanaleta players, they are all in shambles. Ndio Glazers walikuwa huko kutoka 2001 for a long time. But they had Ferguson. For Ferguson, he was the man to talk there in Manchester. Akisema hivi atapewa hivi.
So do you mean that the owners are dictating the managers and whatever? As
of now,
the management is poor.
The management is poor, especially from the owners. Yes, they spend, but if you look at the recruitment team, it's a waste of money. They go for finished players, or it's like there's no communication between the owners and the recruitment. And when it comes even to the managers, there's a fall in. They bring good managers. They have had Mourinho. And we all know Mourinho's legacy.
Mourinho gave us the
no, he gave you the trophy deal. But if you look at Manchester, umeshinda EPL mara 13. So that is a big team. And the fact that amjaishinda for almost more than 10 years shows that there is a huge institutional problem. Kumekuwa na protest England. Yeah,
the Glazers out.
Yeah, Glazers out. Na bado wanakatalia hiyo kitu.
Maybe to wrap up, United stands at 13th position in the log. What is the best position they can finish?
With the form they are in now, I think top 10. Number 10.
Number 10.
Yes.
Shadrach, do you see them playing in European competition next season? Manchester United?
If we win Europa, obviously we win Champions League. And we are going to win Europe.
That's another debate for another day. It's not as easy as you may think. I think, are you playing Lille? Lille or Lyon? Lyon. Manchester United, Manchester City, where do you see them finishing at the end of the season?
Manchester City, I don't see them finishing top 4 because Newcastle is already ahead of them and with a game at hand. Chelsea is also awake and fighting for the same spot. The highest City can go number 5.
Number 5.
Manchester United, we are not actually struggling right now because we have a positive impact.
You are not struggling at 13th position?
Manchester.
Like of late, like that zone. But the problem is Newcastle and West Ham and wako hapa mbele yetu and those who are doing good. So it's our prayer they do bad, but possibly we finish number 10.
I think go for your games. They go for their games.
Yes.
Let's see wherever you end. But I was very much surprised when you said you are not struggling and you are at the 13th position. Remember, you are not deducted any single point this season.
And it's
so you have just been
number 3.
All right. So that was nice. Just a preview on the Manchester derby. It ended in a barren draw. So we are now moving on to the biggest of all, the UEFA Champions League. And of course, we shall be looking at the matches played. Of course, Inter Milan edged out Bayern Munich in Allianz Arena at deep in stoppage time with a 2-1 victory. Of course, there was boys harassing men, Arsenal beating, thumping, humiliating, and hammering Real Madrid 4 goals to nil. Real Madrid, of course, I won't talk much about that. And on Wednesday, of course, we saw Barcelona, a team of pure talent, edging out Borussia Dortmund, last season's finalist. Of course, they were beaten by Real Madrid in the final by 4 goals to 1. Of course, thanks to goals from Rafinha, Yamal, Lewandowski, with a brace. Then, of course, another game, it was between PSG, of course, beating Aston Villa by 3 goals to 1 in Parc de France Stadium. Maybe starting with you, Anthony. Barcelona, outstanding, 21 matches unbeaten this year. Are they favorites?
Personally, yes. For me, I supported the club mainly because of Messi, but even still now, I still have that love for it. With the way their playing style, personally, I think the main reason why Barcelona are the way they are is because the players trust the manager. Flick came in with that. Alikuja akawaambia, he came and brought the winning spirit back to Camp Nou. So I think for me they are favorites because Madrid are out, obviously. So personally, when you wanaweza simamisha the others, Barcelona.
Remember, Madrid is a team of miracles.
I know.
Out of darkness come light.
Unless Jesus himself speaks prays for their players, I don't think they are having a comeback at all, especially against a well-drilled Arsenal. Tumeona Arsenal Kenya wamefanyia City, na City wanakuanga na ball chances, and they defend well against them. Real Madrid, as of now, they fumble both in defense, they attack. There is no. Sometimes
of course, we shall be looking at Madrid later. Now, still with Barcelona, what is that motivating factor?
So for me personally, it's the faith of the manager with the players. If you look at some, let me give an example of my manager, Ange Postecoglou. he doesn't trust some of his players. The youth, kwanza the youth. Unapata mtu ni 16 anakosa kumwaminia, lakini ukienda Barcelona, Hansi Flick has trusted the youth. The players like Lamine Yamal, 17 years of age.
The Gavi, Pedri. It's a very young. I think it's the youngest team in the UEFA Champions League this season.
Center back is a 16-year-old Pau Kubaras.
There is the outstanding Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez. If you see
the offside tracker specialist.
Yes. So if you see, if the manager trusts you as players, he gives you a chance to play. You'll give it your all. Players like Rafinha, last season, he was not in a good form, but the manager came in, told him, "I'll trust you. I'll give you game time. So pay that back with goals and assists."
Yeah.
So I think the trust of the manager to the players has motivated the players to be able to play the way they are doing now.
Okay, Shadrach. Which team do you see stopping Barcelona?
Right now, the only team I'd say that have a chance to stop Barcelona are either PSG or Inter Milan. But for Inter Milan, if Barcelona keep playing the way they are playing, they are going to beat Inter Milan. PSG, that would be a harder mountain to climb. But in terms of play style, Barcelona is better than PSG. PSG are great; they possess the ball well, but they are not very clinical in the final third. If you look at their games, they waste like 10 chances and score 2 goals. But Barcelona will give them 3 chances, they are going to have 2 goals. So in terms of, when it comes to scoring, Barcelona are better. So they keep playing the way they are playing, they are going to win even against PSG.
Okay, Ken.
Yes.
Barcelona is made up of these outstanding young players who are exceptionally good. The likes of Pedri, the likes of Gavi, the likes of Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski, of course, very experienced. Today, if the Ballon d'Or trophy is placed here, which Barcelona player will you award it?
I wouldn't think twice. I take it. I pick the trophy. Because I see his dribbling style, I see his movement, the impact he's bringing to the team. Yes, everybody at Barcelona is a superstar. Look at Rafinha with the assist and the goals. But I see Lamine Yamal like that young boy who has taken the manager's trust and who has the fans support, everybody likes, and he's not a one-time player. Every game, consistency. He might not score, will give an assist. He might not score or even do much to be a player to be noticed, but he will be moving forward, pushing for the goals, pushing together. There's that, I don't know, experience in a young boy. So me, I go with a
young boy becoming man.
Yeah.
Do you agree with his suggestion that he will go for Lamine Yamal as the Ballon d'Or winner?
No, personally, no. For Lamine Yamal, yes, the skill is there, the talent, but you need to give him time to blossom. You know, you can't just.
Do you mean he's too young to win Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, for the Ballon d'Or, yes. Maybe the golden boy award, he can take that.
It
in Barcelona, Rafinha. He's having an outstanding season.
I remember they also look in terms of also discipline. I have experience in discipline part of Rafinha in the last matches, trying to push his own manager Hans Flick and the goalkeeper Andre ter Stegen. Can that be a hindrance?
I don't think so, because yes, there's that. I think they can chalk that up to the adrenaline or the frustration of that time.
That's the same reason that Vinicius Junior missed.
No, Vinicius. That's a different issue.
We also saw Rafinha in Brazil, what he cost in South America. Brazil, the match between Brazil and Argentina. Of course, they ended up being hammered. 4-0.
But for me personally, if you look at the season he's having, and you compare it to last season, the form that he's having for any ordinary player, especially when sometimes you see he's being played out of position, at times he's being told to play the 10 or the left wing where he doesn't favor his favorite foot. The consistency to put the goals, the assists throughout the season, and there is no stopping you as of now. He's the top scorer in the Champions League. and even in the La Liga is the top 10. I think he deserves it to be mentioned at least. Hata kama hatashinda, to be mentioned, to be given that sport recognition that he deserves the Ballon d'Or. I mean, for now, you should not find him the pressure.
Okay.
Because if you look at people like Ansu Fati was called the next Messi, but pressure came up to him and he's lost as of now. So for Lamine, give him time.
Okay, who's Barcelona's best player? It remains debatable. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, or Robert Lewandowski? It's you to give your opinion at the comment section. Of course, we're moving on. Yesterday, PSG beat Aston Villa by 3-1 in Parc de France. How far can PSG go?
Right now, let's see. They come to England, they're going to beat Aston Villa again. Maybe 2-1, most likely. They're going to go Arsenal. Right now, Arsenal can't beat PSG. They are great and all, but this PSG team they're going to demolish Arsenal.
Do you agree with the idea that Paris Saint-Germain will beat Aston Villa home and away, despite the fact that Aston Villa have been outstanding this season and they have been in the best form ever?
Yeah, I think I will agree with that. Although not too much win. I think it will be just either a draw, which will favor PSG because of their home win, or maybe a 1-0. You see, Aston Villa is good, but PSG know to. I don't know. They are cheating dead. They are good cheaters of death. Like I watched their first game at Parc
de France.
They played well, but going forward, it wasn't so attacking because of lack of Dembele. I think he was missing in that game, and I think also he will miss in the home game at Aston Villa. So I don't expect them to score too many goals, but I expect them to win against Aston Villa. But them going through, that's the worst dream for Arsenal.
Okay, so Anthony, we've seen PSG just clinching their Serie A title with around 7 matches to play or to spare. So, do you see them winning the UEFA Champions League?
Winning is another thing, but going through
they'll go through to the semis.
Yeah, because Aston Villa, yes, they've been great, they've been good, but I think the quality, if you look at the quality in PSG and Villa, the quality is not balanced. So I think PSG will go through, and I would like to disagree with my fellow football lovers here that PSG is going to destroy Arsenal. They played once.
Okay, we shall be looking at that in the next stage.
They played once, and we all saw what happened.
They didn't have Dembele, but only Bakola was.
You can say that, but
the whole team was down.
Arsenal are a different breed. I'm a Spurs fan, and giving credit to Arsenal is hard. It's difficult and it's painful, but
I know there is that not London rivalry between Arsenal and Spurs. So I understand you. Of course, those were the Wednesday's fixtures. Dortmund being humbled by Barcelona by 4-0. Then Paris Saint-Germain beating Aston Villa in Parc de France by 3-1. The return leg is on Tuesday, of course, in Iduna Park, Signal Iduna Park in Germany. Of course, Dortmund taking on Barcelona. Then at Villa Park, Aston Villa hosting the current France champions, Paris Saint-Germain. Of course, on Tuesday we had another shocker of all time. Inter Milan beating Bayern Munich at Allianz Arena. What does that explain? What does that really mean?
It just shows the quality of Inter Milan. Bayern, yes, you can argue that they have been up top. They're back at home. They're the top. But if you look at the quality all around the team, there are some areas they are lacking. Yes, they have Kane, and Kane, for me personally, should win the Ballon d'Or. Yes, they have maybe Musiala and all that, but if you look even at the team they put out that time, and Rafael Guerreiro was playing somewhere at the front there.
Musiala was injured, so hard to replace.
Rafael Guerreiro was a left back at Dortmund. So if you look at how the players are being, the team, how it's being put out by the manager, and also some of the lack of their personnel that are injured, you can see that there is the quality that is lacking from Bayern. Whereas if you look at Inter Milan and the whole season, they have been brilliant. Even back at home, they are, right now I think they are number one. They might win the Scudetto another time. And you look at players like Lautaro Martinez, always performing, Marcus Thuram. You look at the defense, Bastoni, Acerbi, Di Marco. So the whole team, Barella in the midfield. So the whole team there is, I think, their form is good compared to Bayern, because Bayern, I've seen some arguments online that there is an over-reliance on Harry Kane. And the last time they played, Harry Kane didn't score, and even his influence wasn't felt that much. So I think if you see the teams, there is no balance in Bayern, whereas at Milan they can be able even to reach the finals.
Okay, so Inter Milan has been a very experienced team in the Champions League. Of course, they won it with a special one, Jose Mourinho, back in 2010, and they were like underdogs. They've got the winning mentality of the captain, super captain Lautaro Martinez. He won the World Cup, the Copa America, and wherever, and they are leading on top of the Scudetto. Can Lautaro Martinez inspire Inter Milan to clinch the UEFA Champions Trophy, given the fact that they were frustrated in 2023 by Manchester City by a goal to nil?
I think Lautaro Martinez can inspire Inter Milan to beat Bayern, but he cannot inspire Inter Milan to win Champions League. Okay, I think Harry Kane, just to tell my old fan something, he just left England or Tottenham Hotspur and went to Germany, Tottenham Hotspur. I think it's the same condition. I think just Bayern are better than Hotspur, but they lack something, some push. So for Inter Milan, they are a good team. They are going to beat Bayern, that's true, but they are not. They can beat Barcelona, but it's a very small chance. Very small chance. So I don't see them winning the Champions League, but I see them going through Bayern with no problem. Okay,
so back to you, Shadrach. Bayern Munich is ahead of Bayer Leverkusen, the defending Bundesliga champions, by only 6 points. And they have lost in the first leg of the quarterfinal to Inter Milan. Where should he be focusing? Is it in the Bundesliga or in UEFA Champions League? Should he rest players in their Bundesliga match to prepare for Inter Milan, or should he play them? Where should he focus?
Right now, say they go and focus on the vice versa, because right now focusing on the Champions League is, right now it's a losing battle, because even if by some chance they beat Inter Milan, they still have Barcelona next. And you remember what Barcelona did to them last time? They scored 4 against them. So even if they beat Inter Milan, they are not going to proceed to the finals. So it's best they just focus on the Bundesliga and so that they don't end up losing it, bottling the league to Leverkusen, because Leverkusen are not going to make it easy for them.
Okay, another big match, of course, was between the UEFA Champions League trophyless Arsenal smashing the UEFA Champions League specialists, 15 times winners, Real Madrid in Emirates Stadium. What next for Arsenal? Is this their year?
First of all, I would like to comment. The script writes itself. You can see. So, personally, as you know, I've already said I'm a Spurs fan. I don't want them to win, but with the form they're in right now, they might reach the finals. Winning it will be a challenge, because there are people like Barcelona who are on fire this time. But reaching the finals, personally, I can say they can, because after the performance they put against the 15 times winners of the Champions League, They played wonderful.
And having watched that match, I was like, this match was like between the professionals and the schoolboys, giving Arsenal the professional part and Real Madrid the schoolboys part. Real Madrid, I think this season I can compare them with Brest FC. You remember the French team, Brest FC. They were outstanding this season in UEFA Champions League. But at a point, Brest FC, the breast was exposed initially at the initial stage. Okay, at the initial stage of the Champions League, Brest was short and not shaky. But at the later stage, they became shaky and they were exposed. They opened up. They were given hard strikes and collapsed. Of course, by PSG, of course, beating them 7-0, then 3-0, an aggregate of 10-0 in the playoffs. So I really see Real Madrid in the same state. It has been exposed. Do you think at Bernabeu they may hit a comeback, because we know them as UEFA Champions League specialists, and it's a team of dreams. They keep dreaming and believing till the last minute or the last second, because we've seen them coming back against Manchester City, coming back against Chelsea in the Champions League. Do you see Real Madrid having a comeback against Arsenal in Santiago Bernabeu?
Right now, I'm going to say the same thing I said about Liverpool. There's no such thing as home advantage right now. The team is the same. It doesn't matter if you're at home or away. They may have a better chance at Bernabeu, but it's still the same team. It's still Vinicius Jr. on the wing, still Mbappe up front. The midfield is still Modric there, and Bellingham. It's still the same team. So even if they have they're at home, the players are still the same, and it's only a difference of 1 week. It's not like they're going to miraculously start playing better. Arsenal is still the same team as well. They're going to come again, show their class, beat Real Madrid. Right now, Arsenal can even focus more on defending and attack. They are not going to be as aggressive as they were in the first leg, but they're still going to be pushing Real Madrid. They're still good pushing for that win. So if people are still waiting for that Bernabeu home advantage, miracles at Bernabeu, it's not going to happen. Right now, Santiago is still going to happen. The same thing happened with Back. They're going to be demolished. Right now, they're out. Let's just focus on the
Of course, they are in the final against Barcelona. Of course, that will be another big Clásico of Copa del Rey. They are second behind Barcelona in La Liga. They have lost 3-0 to Arsenal first leg, semi-final. What should be going through Carlo Ancelotti's mind?
It's so painful to say, but if I had the chance,
you have to swallow it.
I have to swallow it, man. It's so hard to defend the team. It's so hard. If I could just whisper in the ears of Carlo Ancelotti and just tell him plainly, let's just focus with the league. You know, after Barcelona was held by Real Betis, they have a narrow, only a few points separate between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Real Madrid were damaged, were destroyed by Arsenal. Rice turned into Bruno Fernandes. And it was unbelievable. Then looking at the second leg where who was yellow carded? I think Camavinga is going to miss the game, and another guy was given a red card. It was
just Camavinga. He's the one.
Wow.
He's already going to miss the match.
So Bernabeu is a good place to come for Arsenal. They will not win with a bigger margin. And Real Madrid might win because of the home advantage. But they're not going to. Maybe a 1-0 or maybe a 1-1. I see Real Madrid going out in a very disrespectful manner to Arsenal. I would have loved to just see an El Clásico
in the final.
I would have loved to just see Real Madrid versus Barcelona once more time this season.
But of course, you have been smashed several times this season.
By Barcelona?
Yeah.
I think we need a second chance.
Okay, they can wait for the finals, the Copa del Rey final of Barcelona against Real Madrid. Okay, what's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal?
Yeah.
A pilau.
Of course, there's rice there. Mine
Rice.
too is rice. Okay, so do you see Madrid beating Arsenal and proceeding, or beating Arsenal and not proceeding, or losing to Arsenal?
They're not beating them. Obviously, I said it before. Arsenal have shown their quality in defense versus teams like City, and we all know City possesses the ball. They have more shots in a game. The pressure they pile on the other team is much more than what Real Madrid can offer.
And you know what? On the City part, as you continue, I think when Real Madrid beat Man City, they blinded us. They made us think, wow. And we forgot that this City was also beaten by Manchester United. So like, Real Madrid have now been really cheating them because they finished in that new style of UEFA Champions League.
Yeah, 23rd position.
They were even in the verge of going to relegation. Then they beat Man City and they're like, oh, the magical team, my guys. They disappointed.
But that game, I think Arsenal were outstanding in all aspects, right from minute one. Yeah. And even the midfield, Rice himself was just commanding the midfield and
nowhere to be seen.
Real Madrid had chances, though minimal chances. I beg your pardon.
No shots on target.
There was one from Kylian Mbappe.
Baby shot. A baby shot.
So what next for Real Madrid? Because we've seen them bring in these super players. Of course, when we talk about Kylian Mbappe, this is a player who scored a hat-trick in the World Cup. Just few players have done that. Okay, they have the likes of we have the Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr. Of course, he was a Ballon d'Or contender. We have Bellingham there, the likes of experienced Modric. Defense, Rudiger, Militao. We have Alaba. Where is the problem at Real Madrid? What might be the problem?
I think the problem mostly comes, it's in all aspects, the player and the manager. For me personally, I'll start with the manager. His team selection is biased at times. You cannot tell me you have talent like Adagula, who can bring some creativity to the midfield. You're going to make him. You're going to bench him for months and start 39-year-old Luka Modric. His team selection is biased. Even for the game with Arsenal, Alaba started as a left back and he's been injured for almost a year. When you have players like Fran Garcia, or at times plays well, instead of starting him, though he has a chance to prove himself against a player like Saka, you start your favorite players. And even if you look at the forward, Mbappe, Vinicius and Rodrigo, all of them are right wingers. So at times they are left wingers. At times you are going to find them in one spot in a match. The ball is mostly spends its time on the left wing, and you will find Vini, Mbappe, or Rodrigo, or all the three of them wamekaa kwa wing,
on the left wing.
So for me personally, I think it's the manager and the players, even the mentality. At times they believe that they are champions.
Okay, so maybe your finally prediction.
So
just scoreline prediction.
A 0-0 or a 1-0 win to Arsenal.
For me, we'll go 1-0 to Arsenal, but it's hard for Real Madrid to score at Bernabeu. That would be disgraceful for them. So let's go maybe a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
1-0 for Real Madrid.
1-0 for Real Madrid. So let's wait and see if whether it will be a dazzling white at Santiago Bernabeu or if Madrid will bleed Arsenal red. So it was nice, guys, having you, my pundits here, and can't wait to see you next time. For you watching, it was also nice having you with us until this time. Until next time, bye for now.